Hey guys, welcome back. Saber2 here today with a new video. Today we're talking about the Holger 26, so let's get straight into it. The Battle Pass is now out for COD Modern Warfare, and if you get to level 15 on the Battle Pass without needing to spend any money, you can now unlock the Holger 2 LMG. It looks a lot like the G36C, which some might remember from other CODs and various shooter games. Now the Holger 2 is an LMG, but it plays more like an AR, think like the L80. And if you get all the way to 81 on the pass, you can also nab yourself the gilded variant, which looks really nice. One of the few things on the pass that I actually would like to get. So that is how to unlock the Holger. Like I said, you do not need to spend any money. You will need to for the gilded version, but for the gun itself, just to unlock the gun, all attachments, all camos, etc., just to get the gun, just as it is free. It's on the Battle Pass level 15. You can buy or not buy, and you'll still get it. Same with the TAR, but let's save that for another video. Now, let's take a look at the base stats. So here's the Holger's base stats. Thankfully, Modern Warfare doesn't give us any numbers or actual data that we can base our findings off of. We just have to go off of these obscure sort of random-esque bars that could mean something or not, or who knows really. But we've got these bars, so at least we can compare it to other guns. I can't tell you how good or bad it is as itself, but I can tell you whether it's more or less damage than other weapons. So, here's the Holger's base stats at the bottom of the screen. And as you can see, if you go through the other weapons, so if I go to the ARs, starting with the Kilo, you can see the Holger actually has about the same damage as the Kilo. Less damage than the FAL, more damage than the M4, less damage than the FAMAS, less damage than the Odin, more damage than the M13, less damage than the SCAR, and less damage than the AK, and more damage than the TAR, the Ram 7. So that's just a quick comparison to show you the damage compared to the assault rifles. I'm sure plenty of people watching have used the Kilo or the M4, etc. So you can see the Holger actually does more damage than those guns, about the same as the Kilo, more than the M13. So it's just sort of any other AR the way we've been using it, more or less the same. And on top of that, it shoots very fast, and horizontal recoil is a lot stronger than vertical, but as long as you can hold that, there's not much kick vertically, and you can usually secure a kill pretty easily. Now let's take a look at all the attachments. Alright, so here's the default Holger, a nice little look at it. You can tell it's a Holger if it looks like a nice cock and balls from the back or the front. That's how you know it's the default Holger. But anyways, here's every attachment for the Holger. All the general muzzles you would expect. If you're going to run one of these, the best one would probably be the monolithic, as it'll give you more damage. Now the barrels are a little bit different. I haven't seen these really around on other guns. You've got the XRK Ultralight, which will give you faster ADS, but slower bullet velocity. This really shouldn't make a difference, the velocity part, but you will aim faster, so this is all very good. And then the FTAC 9-inch Spitfire will give you an aim down sight speed and movement speed increase with less velocity and some extra recoil. So if you're going to run this one, which you would want to do, this will increase your ADS and movement speed, both extremely valuable in this game. You're going to want to use this and a grip as well. Or that monolithic suppressor will actually weigh it down too, so either way. Now speaking of grips, you've got the sort of expected grips for LMGs or ARs. Best one here is either the Ranger or the Operator as far as I can tell. But honestly, they all kind of do the same dang thing, so just depending on what you want. Now, you can also put a 30-round mag on the Holger. It comes by default with 100 rounds in the magazine. As you can see, it has 2 large drum mags. But if you want to run it more like an AR, which I'm going to show you further in the video, you may want to use the 30-round mags. They make you aim a lot faster, move a lot faster, but of course, less ammo. The reload as well is almost the same, but slightly faster with the 30-round mags. It does not have a long reload by default. It's actually very nice in that fashion. Now for the grip, you've got the classic grips that you see on pretty much every weapon. The granulated, the stippled, which is the one you're going to want. It is the best one. And then the rubberized grip tape. So stippled, best thing you're going to want there. You're going to want that in your build regardless. The perks are all the normal perks. Notice there's no burst, but other than that, these are the default perks you could expect. Now the stocks, we've actually got 4. We've got the FSS Ranger Infantry, No Stock, and XRK Axis. As far as I can tell, you're probably going to want the XRK Axis. Now, if you can handle the recoil, maybe if you throw a monolithic and a grip on there, you could probably run No Stock, because No Stock on ARs and this gun is extremely valuable. You can run faster, aim faster, move around a lot better. The game's a lot more playable. But with the XRK, you still get the ADS speed, just not the movement speed. So this is still a very good choice, and you don't get the recoil negative. You lose out on aiming stability, but with no stock you lose out on aiming stability and recoil control, which this weapon does have quite a lot of horizontal. So you may want to just run the XRK Axis. That's my recommendation. Anyways, of course it's the last stock, so it might take a while. Optics, I'm not going to go on every single optic, but they are the default sort of normal optics you see on every single weapon, except this one has two integrated ones. So we've got the FSS Integral Reflex. So the integrated sights you may have seen around. There's one on the AUG, for example. They are unique to that weapon, and they are sort of that way because they kind of build into the weapon itself. They were sort of made for that weapon. As you can see, this attaches right along the rail and sort of fills in the whole rail of this Holger. So the first one is the FSS Integral Reflex, and as you can see, it's just the classic better sight picture, less ADS speed, just like always, or sorry, more ADS speed I should say. And then down here at the bottom, for the very last thing, you've got the 4x Integral. Now I'm going to show you guys how these both look later in the video. Don't worry, you are going to be able to see what they look like, but those are the two sights that are unique to the Holger. Lasers, you've got the 3 lasers like always, nothing to worry about there. So all around more or less the same. Your main big choices you're going to have to make are, do I want a 30 rounds or a 100 round mag? Do I want to aim faster or not? And what sight I want to use, if I want to use these integral ones or not. The rest should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to throw together a quick build that I want to use. So this would be sort of my ideal build, but I'm also starting to lean towards maybe not the monolithic. Like maybe I want to build something, take off the monolithic, and maybe throw on a 30 round mag. I'll aim even faster if I don't mind having 30 instead of 100, because 100 is a lot, and 30 you should be used to anyways. Any other AR is going to have 30. So if you think you can run and gun with 30, then I would recommend this build, which is taking off the monolithic, putting on the 30. This is going to give you good ADS speed, no recoil, and you should be good to go. If you want to see how this actually plays, let's get some boots on the ground. I'll show you guys those sights. I'll show you the ADS speeds with different recommended builds. We're going to look at 3 or 4 recommended builds as quickly as I can here. And then I'll just give you my sort of insight on the gun, how I think of it so far. I haven't used it too much, but yeah, let's get to the boots on the ground stuff. Alright, so I just spawned into a quick private match here. The first build we're going to look at is the first one I showed. So this is with the last stock, the stippled tape, the grip, and the monolithic suppressor. I also threw on the integral. So this is the sight that is the first one you get, that's the integrated one. As you can see, it's pretty clean. My ADS speed is a little long with these 100 round mags, but it's not that bad. You know, there's ARs that have longer than this, the SCAR, the AK sometimes, you know. This isn't bad. I can work with this. Take off that integral sight and put on this one instead. So this is the 4x. As you can see, it zooms in a lot more. Obviously, it's not actually 4x. A lot of the sights in this game aren't actually 3 or 4 times zoom, but this is Modern Warfare's version of 4x. And as you can see, you still have a pretty clean sight line. You can see around yourself pretty well, nothing too bad, and I like it. It's a very clean sight. There's nothing to get in your way, just a normal cross. I think it's pretty good. If you were gonna just mount up and do long range, I would definitely say it's a good sight to use. But now let's take off a sight the way that I recommended the build be earlier, and we'll throw on the stippled. Oh, and sorry, I forgot. This is also with the smaller barrel. So this has been the shortest barrel the whole time, which you are going to want. But, of course, it'll take a while to unlock that as you level up. But this is with no sight, the smallest barrel, the stippled tape, and the stock for ADS speed. So it's still pretty fast. It's not the fastest that you're going to want if you really are just going for truly ADS speed, because I still have the monolithic on here. But that will give me increased damage. But if we want to get this as fast as we can, let's do a little work here. Let's take off. Or first, how about we try the stippled tape gone and the ammo instead. So we still have the monolithic. We're still getting the most damage we can. And we now have the stippled gone and the 30 round mag. So now this is about the same as you would see ADS speed with a 100 round mag and stippled. So it's really not going to give you much of a gain there. But now if we ditch the monolithic and we go back to stippled, we're now getting faster speed without the monolithic, faster speed with the stippled. This should be the fastest ADS you're going to get with this gun. And as you can see, it's actually pretty competitively fast. So here we go. This is with everything ADS speed. As you can see, pretty fast. This is definitely fast enough, just as fast as any AR, if not faster. Now, this is without the tac laser, which will increase your ADS speed. But for me, I don't like using it because this can give away your position to the enemy. They can tell where you are. I don't really recommend the tac laser. I've never found it to be as helpful as it hurts. But with the tac laser, you are going to see a little bit faster ADS. And the only really option you have is to either keep the 100 round mags and use that, or ditch the grip and use that, and that will give you every single thing, fastest ADS speed, and that's about it. So this is probably the ideal build. This is what I'm going to try and run, which is the Ranger grip, the 30 round mags, the last stock, the stippled tape, and the smallest barrel. That uses up all your slots. Sadly, you don't have room for a perk if you do that, but like I said, you could always ditch one of any of those. The stipple don't make a huge difference, or the magazine. The reload speed with 30, it's pretty fast. It's faster than the 100, but it's still not the fastest in the game, but it's by no means slow. You should be fine with that reload speed. And yeah, that's the look at as many builds as I can recommend anyways. If you can't find one of those that fits you, then of course just build it your own way. But those are my recommended builds. Lastly, I suppose just some general thoughts on the gun. So far, I've only had it for a few games. I just unlocked it tonight as I had to grind the pass out. I don't want to pay them any more than I already have. So I wasn't going to buy tiers. I had to unlock it with the old-fashioned elbow grease, and I finally got it, and I'm very impressed. It's really good. It's just as good as many ARs, honestly. Especially, I'm running it right now with barely anything on it. Nothing on it is helping me at all, really. I'm just using like the default stuff that you get, so like a grip. And it's still doing pretty well. I got a lot of good plays, a lot of kills. You can definitely hold your own with this thing with 100 rounds. I'm still planning on using the 30 though. I definitely don't see myself dropping, you know, to like 20 rounds or 10 rounds without being able to reload. So I do still recommend the 30s. I haven't used them yet, of course, but that's my thoughts on it. I do really like the gun. I'm really happy with it. I'm waiting for the TAR now. I like the TAR more from what I've used of it, but I still haven't, you know, got my Holger fully kitted. I haven't used it in real situations yet with all the attachments I want. So once I can do that, I would have better insight, but for now, definitely a good gun. The best of the LMGs if you're going to be moving around. I've always hated the L85. I just really dislike it. The recoil is insane. It's just not as mobile as any other ARs. There's no point in ever using it. If you're going to use an LMG, you're going to just use, you know, an LMG like the PK or the M91. But this gun can definitely put up a fight with any ARs. You're going to be killing it really fast, just as fast as an M4 or a Kilo or anything else. And you're going to be able to do some good damage output with this amount of ammo right off the bat. And you can definitely hold your own. It's a good gun, very good. I highly enjoy it so far. And it's completely free, so all you got to do is get on and play enough that you get it. You're going to want to do that before the season ends. 60 days left now, I suppose. And I'm sure you can get the gun unlocked in that much time. But yeah, I would say definitely do that before the season ends, because I imagine that if you don't, you won't be able to get the gun after the first season. So if you don't have the game as of right now and you like the Holger, maybe consider picking it up. The game is in a very frustrating state right now, and people are very upset with the launch of Season 1, myself included. I'm not as impressed as I am with what they delivered compared to what they promised. So Season 1, let's not get into that. I'll talk about that in a separate video, but as far as the Holger goes, I'm very happy. Same with the TAR, the Ram 7. I'm very happy with both of the new guns. And this should give you guys everything you need to know about the Holger, how to unlock it, what you should throw on it, and just generally how it works. So it's, you know, it's a great gun. It works just like a AR, but you get the sort of ammo capacity of an LMG right off the bat, and it's got some cool attachments along the way. So thank you guys. If you enjoyed, if this helped you out, please let me know in the comments. Do consider leaving a like. I would really appreciate it. We're a small time channel, you know, living off bootstraps. I eat ramen every single night just to stay alive. I would appreciate a like. If not, don't worry about it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate every view, every comment, all that. I'll reply to anything down there. Let me know what you think so far of Season 1, what you thought about the launch of it, and if you've tried these new guns, let me know what you think there. How good's the Holger? Have you been clapped by it many times yet in the online? Let me know. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more Modern Warfare content, check out my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I also stream on Twitch. I know this outro is really long, but twitch.tv/Jerby2HQ, and I give away double XP codes every 20 minutes on stream. So that's 15 minutes of double XP for you every 20 minutes of watching. That's pretty good. Anyways, thank you guys. Bye.